Hey, people, listen, welcome in the building. It's Monday night, it's trending topics. We got stuff to talk about. I'm glad to see y'all here in the building. Listen, tonight's title is called Order in the Court. Order in the Court. This Judge Iran out there with the Diddy Trial, listen, it's a hot, stinking, filthy, nasty mess. Juror number 6 got kicked out the building. I wasn't shocked because once they complained, I knew juror number 6's time was up. And actually, we said on our channel, I think it might have been last night, or if it wasn't last night, it was the night before, we told juror number 6 to write the letter and ask to be dismissed. Because even if they would have let him stay, it would have been problematic. It was time for him to go. It's sad, but it was time for him to go because the address situation. But now they got another juror that they're considering, maybe a little bit problematic. Don't know much about the demographics or, about this particular juror. But allegedly, this juror got a text message from somebody. Initially, he said he didn't know him, but later on it came out that he does know the person. Got a text message, said, hey, you juror number 6? Am I shocked? No. Because I told y'all from the beginning, y'all heard it here at the Diva show. I told y'all from the beginning, and I told the judge, he don't want to listen to the Diva, that this jury should have been sequestered. There's no way humanly possible, even if you try, that you're not going to tell somebody you on this case. There's no way humanly possible that you're not going to hear information once you leave the courtroom for the day. It's impossible. What they don't have car service to take these people straight home. So you may hear people talking about on the subway. If you take the subway, if you take a bus, you may hear people talking about it. They don't know you're a juror. And they don't have to be silent on the train or the bus. What if they have and they're reading the newspaper? That's a common thing in this city. There are some people that still get the newspaper. You may be on the train on your way home. Somebody got the newspaper and there's a headline on their Diddy Trial. They're thinking about kicking out juror number 6. Or whatever other headline it might be. So this is a hot stinking mess. The jury should have been sequestered. But now there's another juror, like I said, that got this anonymous but not anonymous text talking about, are you juror number 6? So that means the people that he know that he's on this trial. And you know what they say? If you don't want anybody to know something, you got to keep it to yourself. Because once I say, hey, Wayne, I'm on the trial, please don't say nothing. Wayne calls up his best friend. Hey, Katrina, Diva's on the trial, the Diddy trial. Don't say nothing. Then Katrina calls Felicia and say, hey, Felicia, Diva's on the Diddy trial. Don't say nothing. I'm going to take y'all all the way back because I don't know even if they do this anymore. But, when I was growing up in school, they used to play telephone, this game called telephone. Because they was trying to teach us how not to gossip. So we would all sit in a circle and the teacher whispers something in the first person's ear. And then you got to whisper it in the next person's ear until it goes all the way down the line. By the time it gets down the line, it's nowhere near what the teacher whispered in the first person's ear. So I'm calling up and saying, hey, listen, I'm calling my girlfriend. Hey, girl, my girlfriend just told me she on a Diddy trial. Please don't say nothing, but I couldn't hold it in. And now she telling her friend that my friend is on the Diddy trial and that my friend said that they think Diddy is not guilty. And I never said that. But she adding a little sauce to the mix. And then when she finished talking to her, she hang up and call the next person. And now all this other stuff happened that I never said. So that judge really want to sit there and act like, oh, this jury is so good that they could go home. They would have to be not human. They would have to be robots. That this jury could go home, not talk to nobody, not say nothing, not read nothing, not Google nothing. That's the foolery. And you heard it here first. I told you this whole thing is a circus. All they need outside that court is the popcorn, the cotton candy, and the ringmaster. But we're going to talk about it. Like I said, order in the court. Because right now it's out of order. Then we only squeezing in one other story because I came up here late. Damon Dash. You know, in my community when I was growing up, they used to say to the black people, you got two things you have to do. Matter of fact, I think they said three. Stay black. No, matter of fact, it's two. Stay black and pay your taxes. Don't play with Uncle Sam. I don't care what I do every year. First of all, I have an accountant, and I had my accountant for over 15 years. And I had I'm going to say, my son might have been 3 when I got her. But before that, I had that accountant for a long time, but he retired. So my accountant now, I had it for over 15 years. She's not no flim accountant. She got a building, office, all that. I ain't playing no games. Soon as I get all my paperwork in, I go to her and I do my taxes. I don't want the tax man. I don't know. Be coming to my door. He's sending me no letters talking about our old XYZ. I'm not doing all that. Pay your taxes. How do you owe $20 million in back taxes? You know the wild thing about Uncle Sam, the fees are nasty. Forget about a credit card. You ever have a credit card and they say the late fee is like $25. Some of them may be $30 and the interest rates are astronomical. Well, honey, the government, when they start tacking on those fees on your overdue taxes, it's nasty. It's nasty. I don't even know how they expect you to come out of the hole. How does one pay back $20 million and they're not even doing anything current? Not working to make millions a year. Even if you was making millions a year, you would have to dump in everything you made, and then you still, oh my God, it's a nasty hole to be in. But on top of him owing this $20 million, he has a daughter, Ava. She's currently on the new Bravo show, Next Gen NYC. Why would you be renting a $10K a month apartment in Tribeca, one of the most it places in New York? You renting a $10K a month apartment and you can't afford it because she got evicted. Now she got an eviction on her credits thing. You know your dad ain't got the money. And if you don't have the money because you're not doing enough gigs because she's a model and all of that, and maybe your mother, Rachel Roy, is not giving you the money, why would you rent out an apartment that costs $10K a month? So she must have got how to handle her finances from her dad. Tragic. But we're going to talk about it. Y'all know what I need in the chat. I need a what? I need a choo-choo. All aboard, everybody. It is Monday Night Trending Topics, and we got stuff to talk about. The title is called Order in the Court. We got Diddy Trial, day 24 updates, okay? The jurors have gone rogue. And we got Damon Dash. He owes the government $20 million. I don't even know if he can start a GoFundMe to get him $20 million. Good gosh almighty. Let me bring the people on in the building. Hey, Wayne.
Hey, Diva.
Hey, Felicia.
Hey, Diva. Hey, panel. Hey, chat.
So listen, guys, we're going to go ahead and get right into this story. You know, we're going to start with the Diddy trial. It's day 24. Listen, the jurors have gone rogue. juror number 6 is out. It was a black man. You know, couldn't tell us if the address is New Jersey, New York, Brooklyn, Queens. I don't know, but he's done. It's a done deal, and they ushered in the alternative. And now there's another juror. I guess he said, well, I already see that juror number 6 got in trouble, so let me just tell him myself. I got a text message from somebody asking me if I was juror number 6. At first, he claimed he didn't know who it was, but later he found out he did know who it was. So that means he's running his mouth. So Diddy Trial highlights. The jury sees freak-off footage. Juror number 6 dismissed. Now, let me tell you this. They showed the freak-off footage today, but they showed several clips, 30-second clips of some of these freak-offs. And my thing is, I wonder why. If you have footage and it's clear that I'm forcing somebody into a freak-off, then I get why you need to show this these freak off clips. But if you just show me having sex with people, this is stupid. And the prosecution and the whole government gets a big fat F. But let's take a listen to the updates.
Jurors today saw some of the freak off videos, which is a huge deal. We're going to get into that and the significance of it, but we got to first talk about jurors who are just dropping like flies. So the jurors are dropping like flies. There was a juror who was dismissed formally today, juror number 6, and another juror on the hot seat.
Yeah. Waiting to find out his fate.
We got to talk about juror number 6 because there is something more to this story. So last week, prosecutors said there's a problem with this guy, that he has talked to various people, that he lives in New Jersey, but he told the court when he was selected, he lived in the Bronx. And if he lived in New Jersey, he wouldn't be in the jury pool. So what's up with this guy?
Right. And that's why the prosecution made the point to the judge that if he's living in Jersey, he told you one thing, but if he's living in Jersey and he's telling other people, then he shouldn't be on the jury, because if you live in Jersey, you wouldn't be selected for this case in New York.
So the real implication is that the guy lied to the court to get on the jury.
And in fact, that's what the judge ended up saying right before dismissing juror number 6. He said, due to your lack of candor about where it is you live, there are too many inconsistencies. We have alternate jurors for a reason. And so number 6 gets the boot and alternate juror comes in to watch today's testimony.
Well,
now that's the simple version of it.
It's more complicated.
There's it
is way
I won't
more
say conspiracy theory version.
I wouldn't call it a conspiracy.
No, I wouldn't. Well, it's a little conspiracy.
This is not a conspiracy. Here's the deal. Here's the deal. The judge let the defense, once the judge said, I'm inclined to boot this guy, the defense said, we want to make arguments to you. And
that was on Friday.
Right. But usually, if a judge feels that somebody's clearly deceptive, you're out. But the defense gave the judge pause and he said, I want to think about this over the weekend.
I mean, the defense's main argument was that this was going to upset the diversity of the jury.
This guy is he's
black and
Hispanic. He is into 90s hip hop. And the recon that we have is that the defense felt that this guy wasn't necessarily buying the prosecution's arguments.
In other words, there was a better chance that he was going to side with Diddy than with the prosecution.
So then they're saying, and that's why the prosecution came up with this argument to get him off. Now,
here's the problem. This is why I say it's kind of conspiracy theorist. It's a black and white thing. Is the guy, does he live in the Bronx or does he live in Jersey?
It's not black and white.
And if he lives in Jersey,
it's not
then he should not be on the jury.
That's it. It is not black and white.
Now, you can say that the prosecution is doing it because they don't want a guy who's going to side with Diddy. And I'm sure they don't.
How did he get in the jury pool? He got in the jury pool
because he received a summons. Right.
Well, the summons was clearly sent to the
Bronx address.
So he has either a wife or a girlfriend, we know. It could be
fiance, I believe. Yeah.
It could be that he's kind of living with her, but he has a place in New Jersey too. And it's not as clear where he lives. But if he had no connection to the Bronx, how's he getting a jury summons for that area to appear in court. So there's some reason the federal government sent this dude
Now,
a jury summons.
I agree with you that it feels like there could have been a little bit more research done to figure out exactly what the story was. Maybe it is that he got the summons when he lived in the Bronx, but by the time he went in for jury selection, he had moved to New Jersey, in which case he should have said that during jury selection, correct? Hold on.
No.
If that were the case, shouldn't
case,
he have said that during jury selection? And all I'm saying is that it does seem odd that the judge didn't just do a little bit more research to get the actual answer.
have you ever gotten a jury summons?
Yes,
How soon after you got the summons did you have to appear in court?
it's usually like a month or two.
Maybe a month. I mean, usually it's like you got to appear in a month.
Believe me, I've gotten lots
I've
of
gotten
them,
so
and
many of
it's
them.
never. I don't get it like you don't get it 3 weeks before you have to go in.
I get it like a month before. And I've
Maybe you
gotten
don't
for
look at your
federal-
mail. I get it. You have people.
No.
I get it. You
I
have
do
people
not
for
have
your
people
mail.
looking
He has
at my
people
mail.
for his mail.
That's-
I don't have
by the
people
way,
for my mail, so I
not
have to
true.
actually look at it.
Not.
Well,
He's just
Nobody gets a jury.
talking shit
Nobody
right
gets
now.
a jury summons
No way.
2-3 weeks before
They
they
get
have
it
to
a
go in.
month before. Nonetheless, the
Anyway.
guy got a summons. Not as clear, and they replaced him with a white guy.
Yeah.
So the judge said,
Now,
"There's plenty of
Actually, I
diversity."
think we should make this very clear because I actually didn't even understand this until we were talking about it this morning. The judge doesn't pick; they have alternates. The judge doesn't go, "Let me just take one."
Right.
They're when they're put on the jury, they are alternate 1, 2, 3, and they just go in order.
But
So,
they know who one was.
yes,
they-
both sides know who the
gu-
alternates are.
Who the guys are.
Right. So your point is that the prosecution
I'm
knew
not
that the
even
next
making-
man up was a white guy, so let's kick the black guy off.
Personally, I don't think that this is a racial thing at all.
Mhm.
I don't think this is racial. And to me, fine. It's a white guy, it's a black guy, whatever. It doesn't really matter. What matters is that if it's true that the prosecution felt this guy would be a problem for them, and I don't know the answer to that, but I do know that this guy had to have gotten a jury summons, presumably in the Bronx.
Certainly.
And that complicates it. Okay, there's a second guy.
Second,
guy.
oh, the other juror. That's right. There's another juror who is waiting to find out his fate because he went to the court on Friday and informed the judge about this text message that he had gotten. And he said to the judge that I don't know this number, I don't recognize this number. But the text message was a question. It said,
Are you juror number 6?
Right.
The guy that was booted.
because last week people were already talking about juror number 6 and the fact that he might get booted. So this juror, another juror, not juror number 6, gets this text asking him. So he felt like, look, I better share this with the judge.
Because he didn't recognize the phone number.
Right. So tells the judge, we're told, asks a bunch of questions, wants to get more information. What is this number?
By the way, I think the lawyers were there too.
Yes, lawyers for both sides were there. And they get more information. And whatever answers the judge got back, what we know is that the judge is concerned that this juror is talking to other people outside about the case, about the fact that he is on the case. Because
it's even
why
more,
would someone be asking him,
it's even more specific.
are you juror number 6?
It's specific. What I'm told is that there seemed to be pretty good evidence that this text message that he got with
was
that
actually
phone number
from someone he
was
knows.
someone he knew and was allegedly talking to this guy about the case.
I
which
mean,
he's
it
not allowed to
sounds
do.
like if it's someone he knows, then that person was basically checking in with them to say, all right, I just read about juror number 6.
Were you the guy?
Is that you? Is that you who's getting kicked off? That's a problem.
So it's not unusual. I mean, first of all, this jury was not sequestered.
Right. And so everyone understands that, yes, the jury instructions are that they're not supposed to talk to anybody outside of the court about this. They're not even supposed to talk to their fellow jurors about this until they go in to deliberate. So
but you know the weird thing is that even the judge knows that jurors violate the rules because the judge put a gag order on all the lawyers in the case, the prosecution and the defense. So if you really believe that the jurors aren't going to watch, social media or television or anything else,
Then it wouldn't matter.
there's no need for a gag order. The only reason to impose the gag order is the jurors are going to violate the rule, and you got to protect against that, which is really kind of crazy when you think about it. But these lawyers, in fact, I have a podcast with Mark Garagos, who is, his daughter is one of the lead lawyers in the case. And he seems to be, although he won't give me a straight answer, it's kind of consulting. The gag's on him. So it's sort of like, why are you gagging lawyers if you've told the jury not to look, if you really believe they won't look? Clearly, the judge
so
doesn't
the judge
believe
knows that happens, but the problem is once it comes to the judge's attention that someone absolutely has done it, now he can't look the other way.
And
I don't know how this juror stays on with the judge knowing this.
So, look, it's harder for the prosecution because if, like, for example, juror number 6 really was kind of doubting the prosecution's case, all it takes is one vote and there's a hung jury.
Right.
And if there's a hung jury, that benefits the defense because then the defense has watched the entire case the prosecution puts on. And the defense in the second trial has a real advantage over the first. And so the prosecution needs to corral all 12.
Mm-hmm.
And so that raises even a bigger issue about juror number 6.
And by the way, I was just remember I know you sure read about it while you were gone, that there was a day that the judge threatened to kick Diddy out of his own trial because he was looking in the direction of the jury and nodding, agreeing with his defense attorneys tearing apart the credibility of one of the witnesses. And he was just nodding about it, but he was doing it looking at the jury. I don't know for a fact that it was juror number 6 that he was looking at directly, or if it was any particular juror, but that would be those are one of the things that give the prosecution and the defense an indication of which way jurors might be leaning.
I'm smiling is that I'm just thinking, boy, talk about playing to the jury. All I can think about when I read about this, all I could think about was OJ putting the glove on and showing the jury it doesn't fit, and you're looking at the jury, and so the theatrics sometimes get rewarded. So I think the big deal today is that the jury watched snippets of these freak-off videos.
They saw a bunch of them. They didn't see a full video. What we're told is they were shown snippet, like 30 seconds of several different freak-offs. Remember, they have all these videos that were recovered, presumably at Diddy's off hard drives that Diddy had.
Right.
But and different devices. We know that Cassie had provided some that she had on devices, but they got to see these things, and it was not played for open court. It was literally just on monitors that each juror got to see. They had headphones on. Even the attorneys on both sides, they didn't see it in open court. So just for the jury. What we're told by people in the courtroom is that our producer is in the courtroom and said that a lot of the guys were watching intently, but not necessarily creepily, but watching it, wanting to see what's going on here. There weren't any audible gasps or anything. Everybody.
This jury has been so impassive the entire trial that it's so hard to read them. But I got to say, the importance of the freak-off videos, it's not just to be salacious. One of the things they're going to be looking at is Cassie and seeing, is she
into it?
Is she into it?
Right.
And, that's what the defense is arguing. The prosecution is saying behind the scenes, there was plenty of pressure, plenty of coercion.
Right. And they talked about it when she was testifying.
Right.
Because I think obviously they knew that these videos are going to be played. They certainly recognized that jurors are going to be looking at that. And that's why they had Cassie address that, saying that, yes, I did it, but I was doing it because I was pressured, because he is threatening me, and that this was all I was in his life, was the thing to be brought out for freak-offs, and that he never did anything to help my career. This goes to whether or not Diddy was trafficking her, and the jurors got to see this whole thing play out in
Well,
freak offs.
it could also go to racketeering if she was extorted.
Right.
But I got to say, just days after the trial began, the testimony began, they showed the prosecution showed jurors still images of a few freak offs, and it's interesting because we're now close to the end of the prosecution's case, and they chose to show these videos at the end rather than the beginning. A lot of people thought they'd show it at the beginning to kind of set the stage, but in a way, it's certainly more dramatic. And
yes,
and drama is a part of litigation, trying a case, and it is more dramatic when you have all the testimony in the backdrop than to suddenly show what everybody's been talking about.
What they've been waiting for, really, because they were told during jury selection, you are going to see videos, you are going to see photos, are going to be graphic of a graphic sexual content. So now they got to see it.
Now we can't, I at least personally, I can't say who's a winner and who's a loser in this, because it all depends on how the jury receives it. And if we could get some kind of a noticeable reaction from jurors,
right,
that would be one thing. But they are so impassive.
What's interesting is, even if there had been, so let's say that there was a gasp, we still wouldn't know. We wouldn't know what they were gasping at.
Right.
Which it's in a way would be worse than we'd all be sitting there going, well, wait, what happened on that video?
Right. But it is really hard to read this. I mean, look, everybody has opinions about this. There are 12 people in a box who are going to decide this case, and they view it differently. I'm telling you, jurors view it differently because, for the most part, they really try and follow the evidence, follow the law. I know that sounds Pollyanna, but it's true. They really do. Not always, but often they really try and follow it, and they don't have that kind of passion or, kind of point of view that everybody else has from the outside.
Right. They're looking, this is their job. This is their job every day, and they're taking it seriously. So they're not going to have the same view that you do, hearing bits and pieces throughout the day.
But also,
which could be good or bad.
When we say they, there may not be a they here. It may be split. We don't know. I mean, it could be they all feel the same way, or 5 feel one way and 7 feel a different way, or 2 don't have any point of view. You don't know.
I was just thinking, if you're the alternate number 1 who got to actually participate today. All the alternates are watching and hearing all the testimony and taking their own notes. But your first day, where you're actually on the jury,
you're
watching freak offs.
Yeah.
So
it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
I guess I signed up for this. Okay, we will see you tomorrow.
All right, that's pretty much the recap, and the decision on this latest juror that got this text will happen tomorrow. Felicia, your thoughts?
Good morning. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. That was an interesting conversation. With those 2 gentlemen. They spoke a lot. They brought a lot to the table here. So according to, I don't know when this show was recorded. So juror number.
This is today's info.
But around what time was it, Diva?
They usually do after 3 p.m. our time.
So as we know it, this other juror has not been sent home for good.
That is correct right now.
But the judge knows everything thus far. And this seems more egregious to me than what is your primary residence.
You got to talk to the people.
So, but he was told, come back tomorrow. We'll discuss your fate. So I think what's happening here is, who is alternate juror number 2? Right? It's almost like, I don't play chess, but it sounds like a chess game. So they're having a discussion about juror number 2, the alternate. If that's a suitable replacement, if that's somebody maybe leaning towards the defense. And let me be clear. Yes, I do believe that the folks in the Southern District of New York are supporting the prosecution. And they have to think about this next move. Now, the replacement for juror number 6 is a 57-year-old executive that lives in Westchester. So Westchester is very suburban and very wealthy and predominantly very white. So I'm trying to figure it out. Where do they go? Where do they go on this? As far as them showing actual video of these encounters, it's disgraceful. And why do you want to expose people to that? You gave them the still photos. We've heard a lot. We heard a lot. And they were able to process it, I'm sure, because according to the judge, he was concerned that the former juror number 6 may have cognitive issues. He didn't know if he could follow directions, if he could process information. Well, I think they were able to process everything that was told to them and shared with them in the still photos. But I think I'd like to know what exactly they showed. I don't. Who was it? Was it Jane? Was it Mr. Combs?
Right.
Who was it? And I will remind everyone again. Here we are, day 24. We have not seen a minor child. We have not heard of a minor child, and they're shutting it down tomorrow. So according to Tony Busby, last year he got over 3,000 phone calls.
3,000.
Yeah, and he would have went down to 1,200, right? And then they equally divided some number, I don't recall now, between male and female. Yeah, none of those people have come forward. We haven't seen any still photos. We haven't seen any video or anything like that. So I think the prosecution had to change their strategy last minute, because I think they've been taking the temperature out here, and they're sensing that folks are just not able to connect racketeering and RICO with what happened to Jane and Cassie. And so they're reading that jury. And reminder, Diva did bring to everyone's attention, I think, that the prosecution has a jury consultant. It's a woman. And she's paid every day to be in the court.
Every day.
And to observe the jurors. So when we were reading that letter from the defense to the judge, they said it was unprecedented for the Southern District of New York to have the government, the prosecution, bringing in this jury consultant. So we're learning a lot here in terms of that. I noticed that Harvey was going to tell us what the real reason was, but we never heard it. Why juror number 6 was dismissed. He kept getting overtalked by what's the other guy's name?
The other guy, I forgot his name.
He said, because in the beginning he says, "I'm going to tell you what really happened." And I know he got a good friend on the inside, so I was waiting to hear what really happened. So we'll have to see. I think tomorrow, if this other juror is allowed to continue, then I won't say it publicly, but it'll tell me a lot about what's going on down there. So thank you, Diva. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Katrina, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm with everything Felicia just said. I don't know why they showed the freak off and stuff in the court. I guess to put it in people's minds, this is what he was doing. We still have nothing to do with no RICO or any racketeering, anything like that. Jury number 6. I think he should have listened to our show and listened to y'all telling him to write a letter and get up off there. And these people are not going to keep their mouth closed if they own that case. There's no way they're not going home talking if they got a significant other or somebody like that they're not going home pillow talking or saying something, which they're not supposed to. But there's no way they're not. It's too juicy. There's no way. So, like you were saying, they should have been sequestered, all of them. And if jury 6 would have kept his mouth closed, he would still be on there. But things goes how they go, and that's basically it, Diva. Like I said, the freak offs in the courtroom. I think they want the jury to see what was going on and gasp or whatever, but that's still not showing nothing about no Rico. So we'll see how it goes, Diva. That's all I got.
Thank you. Wayne, your thoughts? Is anybody hearing Wayne? I don't hear him.
I don't either. Okay, his mic was off. He put it back. What, Mike? Wayne, turn your mic on.
All right, I don't know what's going on with Wayne, but we're going to move forward. I will say this about this whole case. I think it's a travesty. And someone told us the dollar amount. I don't remember the number, but it's in the double-digit millions, I heard, right? That they're spending.
Sorry, Diva, it's a $500 million. $500 million.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I thought I remembered that, and I guess I just didn't want to process that. Oh my gosh. $500 million for sex, drugs, and hip hop. $500 million. And you showing the freak off taste, and you're showing 30 seconds of what? I need you to say, this first clip you want to see is 30 seconds. You're going to see the people being forced. This second 30 clip video you're going to see is you're going to see the people, the substances being shoved down their throat. This second 30 clip video you're going to see is somebody trying to get out the freak off, and Diddy was stopping them. That's what I want. Not you just showing me a bunch of 30-second clips of people having sex. I hope this defense is on their game, because they got a lot to work with where they could win this case, because all they need is a smidgen of reasonable doubt. And I guess Brendan Paul is coming up tomorrow, and we're going to see what he has to say to us. Because the witnesses that was up today, they told us about how they got text messages off the phone of Diddy telling Cassie, let's have a freak off as your Christmas gift. Where's the Rico? Where's the coercion? I'm still not convinced. I don't care who it is. I'm not. And don't get crazy. I'm not saying he didn't do something. Obviously, we saw what he did. He got a problem with them hands. He put his hands on you in a 2.2 seconds, whether you male, female, whatever. He used his hands. He got a drug abuse problem, period. But where's the Rico? You know, there's this case today. I want to say they arrested like 100 and something people. There go your ass trafficking. 100 and something people. And they spending $500 million so they can exploit this man in his sex life. If y'all got a real charge, we need to see it. This is your final days of presenting your case. I need the dots to be connected. Everybody out there, they was beating me down. Diva, you need to wait. You need to wait. You need to wait. It's a slow burn. Will somebody tell me when they're going to really light the match and put a fire on this thing? I heard they showed some payments where he took some money from his company and he paid for the P people, the S workers. We got Tom Girardi from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills that took all the money from his company and funded his wife's whole entire career. You want Rico? There it is. You had plane victims, burn victims, okay, that was supposed to get their money. This was Diddy's company, and he took money from his own company to pay for some S workers. And they want us to get all worked up. Erica said, Diddy will walk, in my opinion, time served. Erica, the only thing that's shaking me is it's a lot of flim-flam going on. It's a lot of stuff going on. Tara says the RICO has been proven. Tara, tell me where's your connection with this proven RICO? You know, the other day I was at my house, my girlfriend's house. She was doing my makeup, and The Godfather 3 was on. And I said to myself, when I think of RICO, I think of stuff like this. They played phone calls with this man saying, I love you, baby. Last night was the best. You want RICO? RICO is a phone call where they're saying, yo, I'm going to give you, and they talking in codes. Go ahead and do that because so-and-so is going to be at the store on the corner tonight. Take care of that.
Hey, Diva.
Yes.
I hate to interrupt, but we can go to what we know is on the ground facts. Keefe D saying, I got the green light.
Okay, that part. That's RICO right there, right? There you go.
Right. We got the green light.
Talking to his son. He said the green light is on our side? Yeah, they was getting or selling. Okay, I hope I'm saying this right. Is it Road Dog, Rude Dog? Yeah, he wasn't selling these substances. They was buying them and utilizing them for self. He wasn't buying them and then sending the people on the corner, selling them, and they was coming back. And let me tell you, out of every movie I saw where there was a pimp and a hoe, the hoe complained about how she ain't have no money. He took all her money. He beat her, and she was destitute. These individuals was living in penthouses, wondering why they got a Benz instead of the Rolls Royce, and somebody else got a Maybach. They was crying because this one was getting $50K a month, the other one was getting $300K a month, and I'm doing the most over here for $10K. I'm rubbing your feet, watching your favorite show with you, Dateline. And the other complaint was, how come so-and-so gets to go to Thanksgiving and Christmas and I didn't get to meet the twins, Christian Combs and Baby Love, but your other chick is in the pictures on Thanksgiving at the Thanksgiving table with all of them. Why is that not me? Where's the RICO? And let me tell you right now, that defense team better write the heck out of that closing arguments. Better tell the jury how to think. Tell that jury they showed y'all freak off tapes. Was anybody screaming for their lives? Was anybody trying to run out? Did they show y'all someone that was passed out and somebody else still was on top of them? I gotta move on, y'all. I'm gonna tell you right now, this other juror that claimed you didn't know who texted you, but then you did know who texted you, pack your bags. It's a wrap for you. It's a wrap for you. It's over. And if somebody knows the precedent on how many cases where the alternates were actually ushered in to be a regular juror, let me know. So I don't know. Okay, that conversation. Okay, let me move on. Let me move on to Damon Dash. This man, I think Damon Dash, because I think he's my time frame. I want to say Damon Dash gotta be 50 something. Somebody hit me up and put in the chat there, how old is Damon Dash? If you are an adult and you don't realize that you don't play games with the government, you a whole fool. You're a whole fool. I don't know how you paid $20 million back. I don't even know how you get on a payment plan for $20 million. But I do know this. He messed around too long and they will lock him up over taxes. He better ask Wesley Snipes. And there's some other ones I can't think of their names right now. Let me go ahead and share screen.
Dionne Warwick.
Oh shoot, she went to jail.
No, she didn't go to jail, but she could never pay her taxes.
Bedside BK, I appreciate you. So Damon Dash is 54. And how do you work with somebody in your orbit, a Jay-Z, he's a billionaire, and you end up owing $20 million in the hole? So Mad Dash, record exec Damon Dash owes $20 million in unpaid taxes as Next Gen NYC star daughter Ava evicted from her New York City apartment. Plus, inside his daughter Ava's eviction from her luxury Tribeca apartment. So record exec Dame Dash owes a stunning total of over $20 million in unpaid federal and state taxes, just as his Next Gen NYC star daughter Ava was evicted from her New York City apartment. The U.S. Sun can exclusively reveal that the Rockefeller Records founder has been hit with 3 federal tax liens filed in 2022, owing the IRS a total of nearly $12 million. So the largest of the federal tax liens was filed in New York for a total of almost $7 million, according to records filed on April 15th of 2022. The tax lien accounted for money Damon allegedly owes the IRS from taxes from years 2006, this is insane, 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, 2019, and 2020. A second smaller federal lien was filed in New York for about $250,000, and that covered money allegedly owed to the IRS from 2020 and 2021. The third federal tax lien, also filed against the Rockaware co-founder in 2022, but filed in California, was for a stomach-turning almost $5 million. The total of the 3 federal liens are about $12 million, you might as well say. Meanwhile, he was previously reported that it's not just Uncle Sam who has his hand out to Damon for taxes owed. New York State also claims it's owed another almost $9 million in back taxes, according to the New York Post. In November of last year, the Empire State purchased Damon's 1/3 share of Rockefeller Records for $1 million at an auction, with hopes to flip those shares to pay off his state debt and also recoup an additional $193,000 in unpaid child support. On Tuesday, June 10th, in a case referring to New York State purchase of Rockefeller Records and revealed by the U.S. Sun, the New York State Department of Taxation and Finance confirmed Damon's judgment for child support and back taxes remained unsatisfied. Damon's legal team did not respond to the U.S. Sun request for a comment. Inside Damon's lawsuit in April, the music mogul was ordered to pay a default judgment of $4 million after claiming on a podcast that the movie producer George Weber and others stole from him during their week together on the flick Dear Frank. The judgment was entered after Damon failed to file an opposition to the suit in the Central District of California Court, according to the Post. He also owed $823,000 judgment in a previous ruling over Dear Frank, which, according to various outlets, he was ordered to sell several assets just this week after failing to pony up that money. He was also slapped with another $300,000 judgment over a 2020 copyright infringement suit. Damon's money woes seem to be having quite the trickle-down effect in his family. After the U.S. Sun revealed earlier this week, his daughter Ava, 25, was evicted from her posh New York City apartment last year. No money, more problems. Ava, who's on Bravo's news show Next Gen NYC, received an eviction notice for her luxury apartment in Manhattan's affluent Tribeca neighborhood in July 2024. According to the initial landlord-tenant filing, the property owner claimed Ava and 3 other tenants occupied the apartment but had failed to pay rent for the 4 months at that almost $10,000 per month, plus an additional $4,000 for a 5th month, spanning from July to March 2024. The landlord requested the court issue a warrant to remove respondents from possession of the premises, together with the costs and disbursements of this proceeding. By October 2024, the landlord successfully obtained an eviction notice. During the premiere episode of Next Gen NYC, a brief shot of an eviction notice on the door teased what seems to be future plotline for the show. While the names on the notice are blurred out, it is presumed to be related to Ava's apartment. Ava, the daughter of Damon Dash, and his ex-wife Rachel Roy joined the cast of the Next Gen NYC, which debuted last week. The show follows a group of mostly 20-something Nepo babies as they navigate life, their parents' legacies, and their own challenges while living in New York City. The cast includes Ava, Ariana Behrman, Raleigh, Emra, Shay, Gia, Brooks, Georgia, Hudson, and Charlie. That's Rachel Roy. That's Ava, Damon Dash daughter. Listen, people living above their means. It's very sad. Felicia, your thoughts?
All right, Diva. I need some data. So how many people live with her in this apartment?
It was 4 others, and I don't understand why they was only mentioning her as if she owed the 10 grand. But you know, I don't know whose names are on the lease.
Good point. Good point.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, as I was thinking very much the same thing. So I'm thinking this is a promotion for this TV show. Because, and listen, I'm the working poor here in Brooklyn. So if you divide it by 5, that's nothing but $2,000 a month for rent.
Right.
And that's in Tribeca, which is high-end, fabulous, loft kind of apartments. I mean, huge, big, beautiful. And if you're going to go live in Tribeca, you know it's going to cost. So I think that's a good price. So I don't know anything about this young lady. So what are they trying to say? That she doesn't have any skills, honorable skills, you know, legal skills, that she don't have a job or something? Why? Like you said, maybe it's only her name on the lease. But then how would her name be the only name on a $10,000 rental? Because you have to earn 40 times the rent.
Yeah, you do.
Yes, you do. So if you're earning 40 times the rent in her case, you have to be bringing in income about $400,000 if she signed on by herself. So I think this is all a publicity. Not to say that she didn't get evicted. She may have been looking to get evicted, so that could be the storyline. Now, as far as her father is concerned, the man don't like to pay his bills.
Oh my gosh.
He just don't pay his bills. Oh, how many years you gave us of back taxes? Was it 11? I think it's 11 years.
Yeah, it's nasty.
Right? And when someone filed a lawsuit against him, he was a no-show. So they won by default. Right? And I recall, I think it was last year, you were doing some shows and you were talking about he was looking to sell his share because he needed to make this money. He had this money. People treated him badly. He got played badly. No, sir, you're bad with money. And it seems to me that you didn't treat your daughter to a quality education where she learned how to use money and how to invest money. Because if there's any truth to that, and she did get evicted, that's going to go on your record. Who's going to rent to you going forward? And then they see your father broke and a bust down, and he don't know how to keep his commitments. So he can't even co-sign for you. I mean, it's serious in New York when you're trying to get an apartment. Okay, it's very serious. So I don't know. She might be out there. I think over there is the 2 and the 3 line on the train. Maybe she'll be down there in the train station. They'll be filming her as she lives her new life underground in the subway.
Oh my God, I cannot with you.
Well, her father ain't got no money, so he ain't got no place for her to go.
Oh God.
Hopefully her mother can come through. I'm done.
Thank you. Wayne, your thoughts?
I would say the same thing. He was just trifling.
Yeah.
Because at some point, he had enough money to pay. He just chose not to, it sounds like. And just spent. And not only that, if this is a reality show coming on, she got a nice storyline. They bring all this to the table. My rich dad owed $200 million. Was it $200 million?
No, it's $20 million, but
$20 million.
That's an embarrassing storyline.
Yeah, but it's juicy. People want to hear that stuff. That's it.
Yeah. Katrina, your thoughts?
I was thinking the same thing, Wayne, because isn't Kim's daughter on there saying that she stole her money and that she got to make, she got to make a way as well. Um, but one thing I believe though, I believe Damon Dash got a raw deal from Jay-Z, because Damon Dash was the one that helped put Jay-Z on and with the Rockaware and all that type of stuff. But Jay-Z uh did some swindling. But anyway, um for him to owe 20 million, he had some money. Cause the other day he was on the YouTube and his teeth fell out. I I really feel for Damon. He was on one of those shows, trying to get help or something like that. But he might be bad with money, but I think he got a raw deal as well. But I told you there's three people you do not play with: the I, the R, and the S. Cause they coming. They don't care if you lost your job. You die. They digging your body up to make sure you in there. So the only thing I can tell him is good luck, find a job, feel sorry for your daughter. And I know people got to stay in these apartments and stuff like that, but I'm paying $10,000 for a apartment. I'm paying that for a house, but I know it's expensive where they live at, and they had the money. But $10,000 a month for a house, for a rented apartment, that's a lot of money. But we'll see how it goes. And then again, like you said, it was four people standing there with her, and and how she stayed there for 4 months without paying rent. No, when they put you out, you don't pay in 2 months. But anyway, we'll see how it goes. Good luck to both of them. That's all I got.
Thank you. Listen, we're going to see how this thing pans out. I wish him luck. He's fortunate so far that they have not, what do you call it? They have not, locked him up. He's very fortunate that they have not locked him up for this tax evasion, because I want to say Peter Thomas from the Real Housewives of Atlanta, they locked him up over, tax bill that he owes. Listen, guys, y'all know the routine. Chat with me in the comments afterwards, and I will chat back with y'all. Let me know your thoughts on this. If you didn't hit that like button on the way in, hit the like button on the way out. This Diddy trial is definitely one for the books. It is definitely one for the record. And the reason why I'm saying that, whether you like Diddy or not, I think people are missing a point that justice should be justice, right? And there's so much egregious stuff happening and going on within this trial. It's just insanely crazy. It's not even making any sense. But, this judge has to, answer to this trial when it's all said and done. What this special game? Ron Isley went in on a Cane Diva of the Isley, but I saw that nonsense he was doing. It, child, listen. But you know what? At the end of the day, if you need to still work, because you need money and you're able to work, I'd rather see you working than crying in these streets saying you ain't got no money and you broke. So anyway, guys, tomorrow for the Diddy trial, I want to say Brendan Paul. They called them the drug mill, the guy that they took in and arrested the day that Diddy was getting on his plane, and his houses, were raided, and he was taking the girls on vacation. So we're going to see what Brendan has to say when he comes up. But tomorrow, I heard the prosecution is resting their case. And all I could say from everything that I heard from the prosecution thus far, unless a miracle happens tomorrow and Brendan Paul gets up there and says something I didn't hear already, the prosecution gets a big fat F, if you ask me. This is a mess. $500 million. The psychiatrist or whatever, that expert that came up to tell us how trauma victims respond, I think she was getting something like $500 an hour. I think I'm going to apply to be one of these experts in these cases, because I got better information for them. It'll be worth every $500 an hour that they give me. I think that lady said she got $6,000 for the day. No wonder they $500 million in the hole. I'm closing now. Felicia, you got any final thoughts?
No, good night. We'll see. We'll catch up tomorrow. See who's getting thrown out. There's mayhem in the jury. And I know if I was sitting up there and all these people getting put out, I'm going to leave before they push me out. I'm going to tell judge I got to go.
I gotta go. I would too, Felicia. Even this guy, just like we gave the advice to juror number 6, I'm gonna be very honest with you, and this is not me even joking. Even this other juror with the phone call situation, just go ahead and tell her, you know what? Go ahead, usher in alternate number 2.
Right. Yeah,
Let
I'm
me
out.
go. I'm out. That way I don't
But
gotta get nothing about a freak off no more. I don't gotta see a freak off on video. I'm out.
Right, and I don't have to risk my economics because somebody know I've been talking over here.
That part.
I don't have to risk my job, my economics, my health care, because these people in here, these are millionaires and billionaires fighting it out. They live the better life. They have the best of the Uggs, the best of the trips, the best of the clothing, and I'm sitting here in the struggle, riding the train with no air conditioning. No, sir.
And then
Free
now
me.
I'm gonna be known to the world as the one who couldn't keep my mouth shut. Meantime, nobody was keeping their mouth shut, but I got busted.
Correct. You know, we have a holiday coming up called Juneteenth, Freedom Day. These people need to free themselves. I would go right to that judge and say, I gotta go. I gotta get out of here.
That's right. Free yourself before June 19th. Child, listen, your rich people problems. Come on, Special K. And now, in all of these people, but you want to know what's funny? Initially, Kanye was running his mouth too about Diddy. And then all of a sudden he had to change your heart. So, but I'm of the belief that there are many other people that were doing these freak offs. But anyway, guys, chat with me. I'll chat back. I'll see you on the next video on the next trending topics. Good night and goodbye, everybody. Choo choo.